Hey, what's up, fam? It's your boy Josh. Man, last night's slate was one to forget. It was ugly, especially that Clippers-Pelicans game. That one was painful to watch. But I'm glad the real playoffs are starting today. We have 4 first-round games today starting early at 1 p.m. Eastern. So, let's get hunting. The Jazz at Mavericks has a 5-point spread with a 209 implied total. This is not the game. We have 2 of the slowest teams going at it with the lowest implied total and no Luka. But we will try to mine some props here. Rudy Gobert should feast against Powell in this front court defense, so I like his 39 fantasy points. Conley has a 30% assist rate since the All-Star break, and he should feed Gobert unlike Mitchell, so I might consider his 5.5 assists. Also, he is always active on defense, so we could look to his 1.5 block steal prop too. With Luka out, Dinwiddie has a 32% assist rate, while Brunson is at 25%. But Brunson's assist prop is pretty low at 5, so we might consider it. And Brunson will chuck it from 3 today, especially if they fall behind, so his 1.5 3-point made is live. Dinwiddie leads the team in scoring when Luka is out this season, so his 20.5 points is in play, along with his assist prop too, given he has a 32% assist rate like I mentioned. Reggie Bullock should have more 3-point attempts with Luka out, who accounted for 9 threes a game this season. And Finney Smith will have to pick up the scoring today, and his prop is pretty low at 12.5. But both him and Reggie are secondary plays that are volatile and risky in my opinion. Overall, I'm just not a huge fan of this game, and it starts very early, especially for me at 10 a.m., so I might fade for the most part. T-Wolves at Grizzlies has a 7-point spread with a 236 implied total. Now, this is the game. This one is the opposite of the first game. We have 2 of the fastest teams in a track meet. We also have 2 foul-happy teams with 2 of the highest foul rate players in Cat and Jaren Jackson. So, who fouls out first? Beats me. D'Angelo Russell has thrived against Morant and company, so I like his point prop, especially if Cat or Edwards are struggling, or if Cat gets in foul trouble. Morant's defense is the biggest hole in Memphis' defense, so D'Lo and Pat Bev scoring could be there today, especially with more fast break opportunities. Memphis allows the most blocks in the league, so maybe we could roll the dice on Cat's fantasy points, hoping that he can avoid the fouls today. Edwards will have a tough time against Brooks and Bane's defense, but maybe we could consider his 4.5 rebounds since he will play huge minutes and there's more shots going up in this track meet. On Memphis side, Morant is always live for his scoring, and he should fill the stat line, so I like his fantasy points. But that line is currently not available. We could also consider his 5.5 rebounds since there will be a lot of shots, especially 3-point shots from the T-Wolves going up today. And his 7.5 assist prop is live as he bolsters a 33% assist rate this season. And in support of this, the T-Wolves are top 5 in most assists and rebounds allowed to point guards over the last 15 games. I also like Bane's fantasy points if it's less than 32. He should rack up steals and drain some threes today. Steven Adams could have a lot of rebound opportunities with the huge shot volume today, but it's more of a secondary play. Just lock and load this game and hope that the T-Wolves can keep it close. The Raptors at Sixers has a 5-point spread with a 216 implied total. Van Vliet should be well rested coming into this one, and he has a favorable matchup against Harden, who is turnover prone. So I do like his 36 fantasy point. But I also like his 6 assist prop since the Raptors are now fully healthy and he will have his full arsenal surrounding him for bucket. Also, the slow pace and half-court offense should favor his assist opportunities. Siakam is on a heater, and he will be needed again today, so we can target his fantasy points and real points, especially since OG is not fully healthy and still sore. Siakam and Van Vliet's playoff experience will be relied upon today. Embiid recently mentioned how the Raptors are trapping him with double teams, which is common for Nick Nurse, who likes to trap the best offensive threat on the opposing team. So Embiid might have to find the open shooter and dish it out more. Thus, we could target his 3.5 assist prop. But I also really like Harden's 10.5 assist prop. He's back to being the distributor and playmaker. And you could pair these assist props with Maxi's 17.5 points for positive correlation. His scoring will be needed if Embiid gets all the attention from the Raptors defense. And the same goes for Tobias too. The Nuggets at Warriors has a 7-point spread with a 223 implied total. Steph will play today, but he won't play his normal full run since he's still sore and hasn't played in a few weeks. So I do like Clay's 23.5 points, and his 3-point prop is always alive since he will take 10 plus threes, especially at home where he can get hot at any moment. Dre shows up for the playoffs, and he will fill the stat line today. So I like his fantasy points depending on what it opens at. I also like his assist prop since he will set up the offense and run the pick and roll with Steph with that signature handoff pass at the 3-point line. Jokic should feast against this front court defense, so his fantasy points is live as usual. However, if the Warriors try to trap him, then his 7.5 assists is in play, and you could pair this with Aaron Gordon or Monte Morris's points. I think Will Barton's 3.5 assist prop is just too low for how many minutes he will play, and he will feed Jokic through the high pick and roll. I think the spread is too high with Steph and Wiggins dealing with soreness and injuries, so I think it should be a closer game than what Vegas thinks. Other props that I like for Sunday's slate that are currently available on the board include Levine's 2.5 3-point made, Tatum's 29.5 points, and Drew's 7.5 assists. So let's recap our favorite targets. First, Harden's 10.5 assists. Second, D'Angelo Russell's 18.5 points. Third, Van Vliet's 6 assists or 36 fantasy points. Fourth, Embiid's 3.5 assists. And fifth, Morant's fantasy points or 5.5 rebounds. And lastly, Siakam's 45 fantasy points or 23.5 real points. I can't wait for the playoffs to actually start today. I hope they pop off with high scoring close spreads. But let us know your favorite props in the comment section below. Also, please hit that like button. We always appreciate it. And catch our live stream later today at 2 p.m. Eastern. Me and Gunn will go prop mining together and break down the games in more detail. As always, best of luck everyone. I hope you crush it. Take care.